Welcome to Curious Goldfish, a podcast community where music and curiosity come together through interesting conversations with the music makers of our world. I'm your host, Jason English. You can find Curious Goldfish in all the major podcast and social media platforms, and of course, we have all of our content on our website, curiousgoldfish.com. Hey, Joshua.
Hey.
So nice to meet you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Joshua Motohashi from Nashville.
Nashville, yeah. Nashville, Tokyo.
Nashville, Tokyo. And you've been in Nashville for a long time, right?
Since early 90s.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Long time.
So I'm here in Nashville doing a bunch of interviews for Americana Fest. And a recent friend of mine in Colorado named Tom Coyer apparently spent some time with you when you guys were just little fellas.
Yep.
And he heard about my podcast, and he's like, I've got an old friend that has this incredible story in life that you got to talk to him. And so he connected us, and that's how we're here today. So I appreciate your time.
Well, thank you for having me here. My old fart.
You look great. So your life story, I'm sure there's more to it. I don't want to simplify it, but it's basically taken kind of two distinct paths. Is that fair? In terms of career and
sure,
kind of what you're doing? Yeah. So you're I'll kind of start there, and then we'll unwind it and kind of get into the details. But grew up in Tokyo, spent a little time in the States, and then at some point you got into music, which I'll dig into, which led you to probably a fairly successful music career playing pedal steel guitar right here in Nashville for a few different people. And then that led to another interesting career as a pilot, which you're still doing. Mm-hmm. But for a few years, you were flying around, the who's who of music and country music, right? Like Blake Shelton and Kelly Clarkson, I think, and some other folks. So Reba, maybe too. Yep. Okay, cool. So I can't wait to get into all that. But what are you up to today? And then we'll kind of go back and summarize stuff.
Well, I'm now kind of a semi-retirement, time, and I found this job at a local, flying some CEO, CFO. That company has the their own airplane. So I used to fly like 600 hours a year. Now I fly about 160, 180 hours a year. Yeah, and so I'm enjoying it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good for you. That's good. In Nashville, you've been here a long time. I guess what's changed in your mind the most living here for 35 years or whatever it is?
Oh, it's just tremendous amounts of talented people in the music industry.
Yeah.
Not just only country music.
Right.
It's
a lot of genres.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah.
And of course, every week there's so many talented musicians, songwriters, singers coming from other states try to make it in Nashville. Mm-hmm. It's just, pouring. And I really like that environment.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And when I was a musician, I get to play with those people.
Yeah.
That's it's just really exciting.
Yeah.
City. Yeah.
So you grew up in Tokyo, I guess. Can you give us the highlights of kind of that time frame in your life, and then how did you get inspired and sort of passionate about music?
How long do we have?
As long as you want.
I'm the youngest of three, and oldest sister and my older brother, they start playing piano, classical piano, and of course we only have one piano. So by the time my turn to practice, I knew what I supposed to play.
Okay.
So I learned music by ear.
Oh wow.
And I think I developed that ear. I knew what key even to play.
Jeez.
And so I pretended like I was reading the music, but I was playing by ear.
Wow.
And my cousin was a classical violinist, and I went to her recital, and I begged my mom, I want to play that instrument. So I started playing violin, and Suzuki method comes with a little small vinyl record.
Okay.
So I listened to those. And
Same thing.
yeah, same thing. Pretending like I was reading and I was playing. And my mom changed to a different teacher. And he gave me a different a scale book and all this other different sheet music. I was in trouble. I had no idea
What to do with it?
sound because there is no record. I asked, well, where's the record? What do you mean?
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
So I went back to that Suzuki method and tried to figure out, oh, this is this is that.
Hmm.
So I learned backward. And but I played the violin for, let's see, 6 years or so. I still loved, classical
Yeah.
music. So,
Yeah.
but I start, listening more like a James Taylor and those acoustic guitar thing.
Okay. And this was you were still in Japan?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I was probably in the high school.
Okay.
Junior high school.
Okay.
Yeah. And time went by and graduated, and I didn't know what I want to do. Everybody had a place to go to work, and I was the only one that undecided. And
Typical
so-
musician.
yeah, exactly. So I travel around, India, Southeast Asia, and I start surfing, and so I started going to Bali and Sri Lanka surfing, and come back to Japan and do some odd jobs, so I got into this kind of a surfer hippie community, and they were all deadheads
That's awesome. Over in Japan.
over in Japan.
That's
yeah.
amazing.
And I didn't like first.
Mm-hmm.
What a rough band. And but they were just really into it, and I started listening, and it's like, wait a minute, wow, okay. And there was a great musician in there. He said, you got to go see a live.
Mm.
And we start playing. We do acoustic guitar, Grateful Dead songs. And of course, Grateful Dead, they sing Hank Williams songs, You Win Again, or, the El Paso,
Okay.
Marty Robinson, and The Race Is On, and all that country songs, Merle Haggard songs. So I listened to those things, and I went to San Francisco. Well, it was in Oakland, 1982, New Year's Eve concert. 6 days.
In Oakland for 6 days.
Oakland, yeah.
Wow.
And that changed my life.
Okay.
And, I had two classical
Jeez.
musicians, cousins, and I've seen how they live. And in the classical world, it's pretty hard. Well, not just only the classical, but
Yeah.
lots of money, involved.
Yeah.
Because they value is, who did you study under?
Oh, right.
And the more famous, the better chance to get, So anyways, I was in, and I had my sister married to a country music fiddler, Japanese, and, they struggled. So I didn't want to be a musician.
Yeah.
But that Grateful Dead concert, 6 days, came
Gosh.
back and like, okay, I want to be a musician.
What was it, do you think, about the music, or was it the music, the environment, everything? Like what stuck out, do you think, in your mind?
I would say, of course, a Grateful Dead concert, you're under something. But you talk to higher self or whatever you want to call.
Yeah.
And I got the call through music. And
It was just there. Yeah.
if we can change this world by music,
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
music has a power to change world and people, I think. I mean, that just got me. And so when I came back, yeah, I'm going to do it.
Okay.
Yeah. And that time I was bartending at Yokosuka Naval Base, outside of the Yokosuka Naval Base, at a country bar. And there was a house band playing 6 nights or even 7 nights. And the band leader came and, hey, do you play pedal steel guitar? I was like, what is that? I didn't even know pedal steel guitar. Oh, I think you like it. And if you play, you be in the house band.
Oh wow.
Okay, well,
Let's do that.
let's do it. So that was August. And they talked to the owner. Hey, Joshua's going to be in the band. And he said, okay, can he be ready in the January? And I was like, yeah, I think so. I didn't even have a pedal steel guitar. And I didn't know even how to play it. So I reached out to those, the community that I was in, and there was the student model pedal steel
Yeah, I was
guitar.
gonna say there's probably not a lot of pedal steel guitars in Japan.
8 strings, 3 levers. It's very limited,
Yeah.
student model. And I learned 250 country songs, repertoire. Mostly Hank Williams Sr. and, to Allman Brothers. I mean, so I start learning how to play and so it's all copy. No improvisation or anything.
Right.
It's just all copy what the intro, solo, everything.
So is it the same thing by the ear? Did you
Yep.
listen to the music and just
Yep.
pick that up?
And
Or was it like evenings and nights and
Oh, yeah.
weekends, just constant?
Well, I had to work at the daytime.
Yeah.
So, and I was living in a duplex, and my neighbor came, several times. Hey, can you turn down a little bit? Oh, I'm sorry. I'll do it. And, those days there was no headphone with, this rack mount preamp or anything. So, and, 20 minutes I played really quiet, but about an hour, I think I was blasting, and he eventually moved. I felt bad.
I mean, of all the things he could expect to have next door,
I know.
it was a pedal steel guitar playing.
But
Bartending.
I took a lesson from a Japanese steel player.
Okay.
Yeah, and eventually he had this double neck, 10-string double neck with 6 levers, and so I was able to manage most of the intro and solos and all that stuff.
Man.
But I every day after I start playing January, every day we finish the 5 sets of playing, bring back my old stuff and practice and get back. Yeah.
All right. So how'd you get to Nashville?
So after a while, I start listening some live music from this country, and I realized there's something different between what I'm playing, what we playing in Japan, and excuse me, the real country music. And well, if you ask me, hey, Josh, I'm interested in Japanese traditional music, what should I do? I would just suggest you got to go to Japan
Right.
and live there.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what I
Yeah.
came.
But you didn't have a job. You
No.
just came over to.
And
to see
I
it.
knew I was not ready to get the gig in Nashville.
Right.
I just want to learn that, the music has background, lifestyle, and, cultures, and I had to learn it. I had to live and feel it, and so I wanted to develop my techniques with that.
Mm.
So, so um,
So
fortunately,
this is about 1990, 1991?
no, I was at 1986 or
A
so,
little earlier.
and my brother lived in outside of Nashville. He was an engineer,
Oh, okay.
and so I stayed there
Oh, good.
and borrow his car, going around the clubs. And a friend of mine in Japan told me to get in touch with Bruce Barton. So I got in touch with him, and and we became friend. And another person I wanted to meet was a Buddy Evans. He's my hero.
Okay.
And so I called him up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm from Japan. Can I meet you? And he goes, I'm busy this week. Call me next week. So I call him next week. I'm busy this week. Call me next week. I did 3 times. And he finally, okay, well, let's come meet me at so and so and so and so. And I was like, wow.
Nice.
So I wrote it down, all the questions I wanted to ask,
Right.
you know, and I was so nervous to meet him. And he and his wife, Peggy, we had a lunch, and I forgot that paper because I was so nervous. But, you know, the things about steel guitar, a community of steel guitar is just awesome.
Hmm.
People help each other because there's not many pedal steel guitar player.
Right.
So if you see guys that play steel guitars, oh yeah. So we start talking about steel guitar and people and all that stuff, and try to help. And so that I knew I wasn't ready to get the job in Nashville, so I bought the $700 1973 AMC Concorde. Odometer didn't work, of course. The all this radio didn't work.
Yeah.
But anyways, I drive around and I went to steel guitar shows, and I went to Arkansas steel guitar show, and I took a lesson. They have a seminar.
Okay, yeah.
So I registered for that, and the instructor, Herbie Wallace, I think he listened what I was doing, and he recommended the organizer, hey, let that Japanese boy play tomorrow. So they came and just, hey, do you want to play tomorrow? I was like, me?
That's awesome.
How many songs? 1 or 2, whatever. Oh, okay. And that time I met this guy, Speedy West. He's a legend of steel guitar player. And my appreciation to fellow Japanese Fender people, they invited Speedy to Japan. And they treat him so well. So he wants to pay back. And he said, where are you staying? Well, I paid seminar, so I have a pillow, blanket. I'm going to sleep in my car.
Oh my
And
gosh.
he said, no, you're not. You're coming to my house. It's like, Speedy West invited me to his.
Jeez, that's huge.
Oh, I was like walking in the clouds. I went to his, house, and what's his name? Jimmy Bryan. Yeah, they did lots of the improvisation record. I mean, I listened their record, and they were there on a cassette, or and he let me listen yeah, this was the one that we just rolled and didn't make it to record and all that stuff.
Just all the that's
And the
awesome.
steel guitar that I saw and then all the pictures and the magazines, it's still, they're standing there. It's like, oh, can I touch it? So we became a really good friend.
Yeah.
And
Jeez.
after, I was playing at the Opry. It was on a TV show, and I called Speedy and, hey, what do you think? What should I do? Did you hear what I played? And I was expecting him to say something that, about some technique and all that, yeah, you might want to slow down or whatever. All he said, smile, Joshua.
So
You need to smile more. Well,
All right.
that, he's got a point.
Yeah.
So anyways,
No, that's great. And then back then, you not only were you younger, but you had longer hair, and
yeah.
you looked like the part of a musician and a hippie, and that whole vibe, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I had a hair to my waist.
Yeah.
But when I play that Arkansas steel guitar show, his name is Scotty, Dwight Scotty. He's a president of an International Steel Guitar Association. He's the boss.
Okay.
He invited me to his talent search show on a Thursday night. So I got to play 3 songs there. After that, he spared his own showtime. He had 30 minutes, and he gave me 15 minutes to play
Jeez.
songs. I know. So he helped me
That's so
on
good.
those things. And during that time, I settled to Denver, Colorado, and found the local band that wants to sponsor me. So start working on my working visa. And it was pretty tough
Yeah.
because every immigration attorney asked me, how famous are you? And like, I'm not famous. Do you have articles in magazine in Japan? No. Album? No. I came here to study country music. It will be about 50-50, and
jeez.
it will cost $3,000.
my
And that's in
gosh.
the late 80s.
Yeah, that's so much.
Or middle 80s. So, and I, about fifth person, she was like, what do you play? And I said, pedal steel guitar. Let me think about it. And she called me, come to my office. I went there, and she found a way that she wants to approach, but she never done it. And I asked, so how much it's going to cost? And she said, what are you doing this Saturday? And I'm free in the daytime. Well, I have a party. If you can play, I'll charge you just
Oh no.
cost.
Oh my.
And like, you hired. You are hired. Yeah. And I got the first working visa.
Oh my gosh!
And,
What a big break.
And Buddy Emmons helped me. He's he recommended me, and his credit was like this big. So the society
Yeah, that's
helped
so
me.
good.
Yeah, helped me a lot. Without them,
Yeah.
I'm not here.
So tell me about the Nashville sort of entry point, and what was the moment or the situation that kind of got you, known or more visible here in Nashville?
I was lucky. I became a friend with Bruce Barton, who's an awesome steel player. He called me, hey, Radney Foster is going to audition for a steel guitar and a bass. Why don't you come and get the audition? And that time he had a top 10 song, Just Call Me Lonesome.
Okay.
And I listened to it, and it's like, oh, I love his stuff. So I flew Nashville, and Steve Fishel, producer, also steel guitar player that played on Radney's record, were there. So I was nervous, but
Yeah.
I got the gig, so I moved. And
That's awesome.
I never really jam around in downtown. Many people does. after I moved to Nashville. When I visited Nashville, I did some, but I was on the road 300 days a year that time.
Jeez.
Yeah. So when I came home, I didn't have energy to
Yeah.
go to downtown,
Yeah.
bring in my steel guitar.
Right.
I wish I was a harmonica player or something, but it's heavy and,
Yeah.
So anyways.
So when you were doing that, was this like, okay, this is what I dreamt of leaving the Grateful Dead concert? Like, was it what you were wanted to be doing?
That was not my back of my head, but I was trying to just catch up with the, players that
Yeah.
so many experience
Mm.
and they know a whole bunch of songs. So I was kind of, trying to be in the same level as.
So you're just too focused on,
Yeah.
getting better and,
Yeah.
and measuring yourself and improving
Yeah.
yourself. Yeah.
But I made a lots of friends on the road. Mostly we opened for somebody in a big arena. That time Brooks and Dunn, Aaron Tippin, Vince Gill. Vince Gill was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so many other players, and the musicians, and that words of mouth
Right.
that kind of spread.
Yeah. So the obvious question is, you're Japanese, right? In Nashville, the South, playing, pedal steel guitar, right? So it's all these things, these random things are kind of coming together. What was the reception like? Did it matter where you were from?
I never think that I'm Japanese and you're American.
Right.
I never really have that. I don't know. We're all human beings,
Right.
and I don't really. I'm not really. I don't know. I don't think about my face or color of skin or anything. Yeah. So. Well. Like when I used to jam around in when I first came here, I just drive highway, and if there's a live band sign, I go in.
Okay.
I mean, fearless.
Sure.
When I think back,
Yeah.
that's sometimes dangerous, but when I go in, I don't even think about that dangerous or I'm Japanese or they might.
Yeah.
But of course, the people in a club bar, especially on the counter, they drinking,
Sure.
they just look at me like, what the hell? But I don't pay attention to. I'm more like what kind of music they're playing. Well, how are they? I'm more
Right.
and I listen and I ask, can I sit with? Yeah, sure, and play some music.
Yeah.
It just blends in, and those guys that look at me like, what the hell? Hey, come here, man. Come here. What do you want to drink?
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So music
Yeah.
helped a lot,
Yeah.
So never had in a fight or anything.
Yeah.
Never
Oh, that's great.
got kicked out or anything. Yeah.
And I think you said that you were sometimes mistaken to being, Native American.
Yeah.
Right, because of the hair and,
Yeah, I
the
think
similarities, right?
Yeah, I think we were related. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So some of the venues you've played here in Nashville, you've played the Ryman.
Yep.
Any memories or stories that stick out? And did you know at the time kind of how special that was?
Oh yeah, and you enter the backstage. I mean, you hear you feel the spirit.
Hmm.
There's a spirit there. I mean, it's a very special place.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to play with the amplifier though. You can't because the acoustic is so good. You can't play loud, and the audience face is right. If you put the amps on the floor of the stage, it's right there. So you got to turn down the amps volume and pick up with a mic, and just so sometimes you can't hear yourself,
Yeah.
and I don't like to put my sounds on the monitor. It just sounds different, and so it was pretty hard to play with the amps. But Opry is you don't have an amp,
Right.
it's just direct.
Okay.
Yeah. So
At the Ryman, I'm sure you played there a couple times or a few times. Who'd you play there with?
mostly Lori
Lori
Morgan.
Morgan? Okay.
Yeah, she's a member of the Opry, so she
Okay.
has she has to play certain numbers a month or a year.
Okay.
And the winter time, Opry goes to Ryman, because the Opryland goes to the ice show or some different show. So
Okay.
we used to play in the December at least. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a special place.
Yeah, that's great. So, and you brought one for me, which was really nice. A compact disc. Is that your album? It's called Self Portrait.
Yeah.
That was released 15, 16 years ago or so. At what point did you decide that the music, bit of your life was coming to an end? Like what sparked that? Was it more of like, okay, I'm kind of done with this, or this other interest of flying planes? Did that grow in interest?
Well, talking about that CD, I wanted to capture myself where I am in terms of the music, and my mental state, and so that's why I named the Self Portrait.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to record that moment. So I decided that, okay, I'm going to just do a one song.
Yeah.
We can do anything
Yeah.
these days.
Yeah.
You put one note there,
Right.
there. But I want to just to do the one song. And I'm going to do the final fix, mastering, just a 1 week. Or actually it was 3 days, started Wednesday and I have to finish on Friday. Because you start doing those mixing, and I fixed this one so it doesn't match with the next one, so you fix the next one, and
You're
forth.
tracing your tail.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I didn't have enough experience to just to have
Yeah.
really well, so I just said, okay, I'm gonna finish by Friday. So so that's the concept that I made, and luckily this small record label gave me a deal.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and just put one more songs, and we do the covers, and so that's the
That's really good.
product. I don't know. I had a dream. When I was in high school, I want to be a pilot. But in Japan, either you go to a very expensive private flight school, or the half government college that you don't have to pay tuition if you served in a self-defense team, that kind of place. And we weren't that rich, so I wanted to get into that government school, but they require 20/20, and I didn't
Yeah.
have it. And
Yeah.
laser surgery, no,
Yeah,
not
right.
in those days. So
Right.
so that went, back of my head. And when I started playing with Lori Morgan in 1997, it's funny that I think it's maybe in every business, but when you get a little higher level, you don't have to pay. Like I didn't have to pay for my strings. I didn't have to pay for
Yeah. Yeah.
Finally, I was able to pay, strings or whatever, they give it to you.
Imagine that.
I know how that worked, but so anyways, I started getting a little more money, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go get the flying lesson.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so that's what I started,
Okay.
and I was playing music those days,
Yeah.
but it's this industry is really hard when you get older, because physically, being on a plane for a long time or the bus for a long time, it's hard. And when I see a great player, when they get older, they don't get called for the studio sessions and stuff. Very few, 5% maybe.
Yeah.
It didn't happen yesterday. It's been like that for a long time.
Yeah.
When I see some articles and stuff, and I'm not that top 5%. I know that. So I start teaching flying and going on the road, and that company started doing some charter for Reba McIntyre, and the owner asked me, "Hey, do you want to get the type rating for this jet? Each jet has to have a type rating, for the license." So sure. So I start flying for Reba.
Jeez.
And after that, she and Narble, ex-husband, had a Starstruck, the company. Blake Shelton was in there. Kelly was there. And so I started flying for them, and Luke Bryan. So that's how I started.
Gosh, that's crazy. All right, so I'm going to come back to that, but did I read somewhere too that at the when you were doing the nursing homes, is that how you met your wife?
Yeah.
So that worked out.
Who would think?
That worked out.
So people ask me, where'd you meet your wife? In a nursing home? She's 97 and she doesn't have teeth, but she's got lots of money.
It's a cougar.
Yeah.
Was she work? Did she work at one or?
She was a recreational therapist those days. She's a nurse right now, but
nice.
So I started going to that nursing home more than other place.
Yeah, but
well,
you became the house band at that nursing home. Yeah, no, that's great. All right, so when you were flying for Kelly Clarkson and Blake and Reba and those guys, can you peel back the veil a little bit on sort of that, or is it just do you get to build relationships with them?
Yeah, sure.
Do you feel like you're kind of part of their crew and team? Like what does that look like?
I don't know team, but they really respect what we do as a pilot, and nobody questioned about, hey, we can't make it, we need to go divert it to so and so. Nobody questioned.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't have to do. Maybe I only did once or so, but I try to take care of them also.
Yeah.
If there's some people are out of the fence and they try to get, I just tell hey, there's so many people there.
Right.
Do you want to get the car out here so you can get out and get in the car and the tarmac and that kind of thing, and I tell younger pilots that when we fly Reba, we carry her name because they don't know that she chartered us.
Yeah.
So if we act like a-hole,
right,
they're going to say Reba's pilot.
Right.
Kelly's pilot.
Right.
So when we fly them, we carry their name. So be careful what you say, what you do at the airport and all those places.
Would you go to their shows or no?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes I go their shows. I usually don't, but when I have a day off or something
Yeah.
next day, yeah, I go there. And
Did they know your background as a musician, and did you ever
Yeah.
have a chance to like pitch in and pinch hit
No.
for people?
no, but they knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a musician.
All right.
Yeah.
And so when you started flying for Reba, I would imagine all the music stuff basically just kind of eroded over time, right? Or was it a pretty sudden end to you playing? Did that become essentially your full time?
Yeah, when when that owner asked me to go to the training, that's a 2 weeks training, and I had a Europe tour with Lori. Not that much, like 3 or 4 gigs.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to cancel it. And, yeah, and after that,
That's pretty much it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a real turning point.
Yeah. How long has it been then? Has it been more than 10 years?
Yeah.
10 years since you've played? Yeah.
More
Like,
than that,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever miss it?
I only miss playing at the Opry.
Okay.
It's special.
Yeah.
Not just only Ryman, but the Opry House.
Yeah.
Because there's, several players, of course, and several singers. And we hang out in the backstage.
Nice.
I mean, we have a green room, but
Mhm.
I don't stay there.
Right.
I stay and I watch other steel player playing, or the house band steel player, Tommy White's playing. And it's like, man, he makes me sick. So good, and talk to him.
Yeah.
How'd you do that?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I really cherish those time with
Yeah.
other players.
Yeah.
And get to know with other, bass player or drummer or guitar player, and we talk about, and we sometimes bitch about on the road and all
Sure.
that kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah. Do you ever get the pedal steel out at home or?
I haven't for over 3 years, 4 years maybe.
Yeah.
One time, Lori had the I forgot 30 years anniversary at Opry or something, and we wanted to surprise her. So can you come? And it's like, oh yeah,
That's cool.
And I was on the other side of the backstage, set up.
That's
So
cool.
yeah, she didn't know. I was like,
Oh, that's so cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was fun.
How'd that feel? Was it good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that day, I was like, this is awesome. This is awesome way to end my career
Yeah.
as a musician. Play at the Opry, no drama, nothing, and play and great. And it's like, okay, this is it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you seem happy and you seem very fulfilled. I would just encourage you, when you used to drive and see the live band signs, I'd encourage you to do that one more time.
No.
Just show up as you are and just kind of see what happens. That would be
Well,
that'd be amazing.
me and my wife went to Alaska a couple weeks ago, and that's the only state that I never been, and I never played music.
Oh, wow.
I played lower,
Yeah.
50,
Yeah.
48, yeah,
Yeah.
in Hawaii,
Yeah.
and play music. So that was my next, box to check, and I was going to do that, just show up in a local club, but hard to find a place that has a pedal steel guitar.
Right.
And I call around, and no, we don't have a live band here. Check with this, and blah blah blah. Not today, this weekend, and I'm out of Anchorage that time. So we went to Homer, and there was a gallery, that's local painters gallery. Went there, and there was a piano. And I started talking to the person
Oh,
there,
wow.
and she was the classical musician, and we started talking. And this is the only state that I never been and never played music. Oh, really? You play piano? And like, I started play piano. You're welcome to play. So I open it just to play a little bit, I mean, it's just a bang, actually. Okay, my box has changed.
Check the box. That's awesome. That's okay. Did it come back? Was it pretty?
I mean,
easy?
just the chords and
Yeah.
the bass note. It's just that's about it. I don't remember any, songs or
Yeah.
so.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, few people get to live a life where they do what they love. I think that's unfortunately that's probably a rare thing. And for someone to live a life where you do two things that you love, that's got to be very satisfying.
Yeah, I've been blessed, and of course, I can't do by myself. There's so many people help me, and so many people supported me, taught me, and so I thank for those people and trying to get, like I'm visiting my friend in Whitby next week or next 2 weeks or something. She was an English teacher in Japan where I met, and she just helped me, supported me.
Oh man.
She introduced me to her brother in Texas so I can stay at his house. I mean, those people that really helped me. I wanted to, so I am flying there to see her and just wanted to say thank you.
Oh my gosh.
And of course, I have one more person there, friends, so I can, visit too. But I really, really appreciate those people that supported me. And even if they don't, like when I decided to come to the United States, many people are like, "Oh, you can't make it. You just started to steel guitar, It's why are you going there?" That kind of comment. I take those things that okay, I'm gonna prove you wrong. I'm not going there to make it. I'm going there to study
Right.
and go from there. I'm not really goal oriented.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just wanted to do the best what I right now, and that's going to lead to next thing, So I'm that kind of guy that because if I look further away, you're not focused on the things that you're supposed to do right now.
Right.
Yeah, I want to do the best I can what I'm supposed to do right now.
Yeah, that's great.
And that will lead it to next thing. So
Oh, that's awesome. All right, so last question. So what I try to ask everybody, and it's the theme of what I'm trying to do, is just the importance of curiosity, in life and relationships and work and everything. But given everything that you've experienced today, what are you most curious about?
curious. I'm curious. I'm curious about what this word's going to go. I'm curious about next journey for me. I'm not done yet.
Good.
And I'm curious about all the surroundings change. Good or bad. And I'm curious about things I can make it better, myself.
Yeah.
I have lots of questions.
Good for you. Well, appreciate your time.
Well, thank you.
It's such a pleasure, man. I'm so
you,
glad we
Jason.
got connected through Tom. And
Yeah, thank you, Tom.
Yeah, and
I'm going to come see you.
good. Yeah, he'd love that.
Yeah.
So thanks again, and just really interesting life. Thanks for sharing the headlines,
pleasure.
and good luck in the next chapter.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
thanks,
you.
man.